What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another live edition of the Fitz Take podcast. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. He's your guy, Elijah Nixon. Um, Thank you guys so much for continuing to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We ask you that you continue to do that. You've gotten us to 245 subscribers at this point of us starting this live, so we greatly appreciate that. Also, if you can do us a favor, go over to Spotify and go ahead and follow us there as well. If you're a listener of podcasts, you can be able to listen to us as well. We greatly appreciate that. Also, follow myself and Elijah and my production company, One Way Productions. Those will all be linked down in the descriptions. Tonight, we are here waiting for the college football playoff ranking show, the second one of the season, to drop. Elijah, what are you looking forward to seeing? And who do you think will be some sleepers? Who do you think gets in? What do you think it will all look like?
I want to see if Colorado's actually on the bubble now, with everybody falling out and losing, and Colorado doing what they're doing. I just want to see if they're actually on the bubble. I want to see what happens with that. I think that it's going to be kind of awesome to see if they actually have a chance. Also, want to see where these other SEC teams land. If Alabama's still where they're landing at, where Georgia's landing at, where Texas landing at. I want to see where they have those guys ranked and what can happen in these next couple of weeks. Because again, I mean, I know we still got a couple of weeks left, and anything is anything can change. It's a very fluid list, a very fluid one. But we can see what happens with who ends where and how this thing ends up. Because at the end of the day, they could make this list this week, and the next week it could look totally different depending on who wins and loses. So I'm just interested to see Colorado's making their name out there now.
Yeah, it should be cool to see who gets in, who goes up, who gets bumped out, and all of those things. I see that the show is about to start, so guys, we're going to pop it up here. Let y'all listen in. Oh no, they're going to commercial, so we're going we're gonna come back to us, and as soon as it comes back up, we'll get into it. Yeah, I will be interested to see if Colorado, if they finally break into kind of the top 12 tier that we've been waiting to see, because they are capable at this point. But like we've said in the past, it's ultimately going to come down to if they win that Big 12 championship, that will truly get them in as an automatic qualifier for the CFP. We know who ain't going to be in the top 12. That's going to be LSU. We'll truly see how it all plans out in the end of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, like we said, we're sitting here waiting for the college football playoff ranking show to start. And as soon as it starts back up, we will get that to you so you can be able to tune in as well. Um, Talk to us though, guys. What are your predictions? Who do you think gets into that top 12? Who's out of the top 25 altogether after their performance last week? Are there any new teams that you think should be getting more praise and more opportunities to get involved inside of the CFP rankings? Um, we shall see. We shall see. I know the Raging Cajun faithfuls are truly excited right now. I think I saw somewhere there was like a 8% chance that the Cajuns could make the CFP, and then LSU was like 7.2, and they were like, put it on T-shirts because they relishing in this. Uh, so yeah, we should see. We should see, man. Um, do you think that Georgia, with them having now, I believe, two losses, I think it is, do you believe that they will still squeeze their way in there if they don't make the SEC championship game?
Yeah, I think they have to win this weekend, of course, because they play against Tennessee, playing against Tennessee, and they have to pull that game out. I think Georgia still has a fine chance of getting in. Um, the thing is, though, with Bama, so that's going to lead you into like, okay, what do we do with Bama if Georgia gets in? Because at the end of the day, Bama did beat Georgia. So, but I think Georgia's still on the brink. They have to win out, and Alabama have to win out. But I think what really opened the door for was Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss gonna have a sliding chance to get in. Um, So I know they're rooting and pulling for Tennessee this weekend because I think if that happens, I think they can, pull and get their way into the college football. But I think right now Georgia's still in it, and I also think that Alabama's still in it as well.
Yeah. I think Alabama's going to be right there near the bottom of that 12. You still got teams in there like a Boise State, which will probably be one of your highest qualifying group of 5 teams. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a close one between all of these SEC teams. Somebody's not going to make it in, and that's why it is so competitive to make sure that you get in. So
I don't know how to feel about Boise State, honestly.
Boise State.
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, this isn't when they played Oklahoma and they had the Statue of Liberty play. I don't know about Boise State. I don't think they. I don't know, man. I mean, I like Gentry, but I don't know.
We shall see. Let's take over with the show, guys.
Version taking you up to Duke and Kentucky. The 12-team college football playoff will be made up, Joey, of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. That's going to be the Power 4 champions, but it doesn't have to be. It's not defined by that. When you are among the 4 highest-ranked conference champions, out of the 5 you get automatic bids, you get into the quarterfinals. First round starts on December 20th, and if you're seeded 5 through 8, you will get a home game on campus. Playoff games, one of the great features of this 12-team playoff. Then we'll play out the bracket, no reseeding, culminates in the national championship game in Atlanta on January 20th, and that's how we'll wind up the first college football playoff of the 12-team eras. We take a look at this week's rankings brought to you by Prudential. We'll count them down, starting at number 25, Tulane in the American, unbeaten in American play. They'll play Navy this weekend. John Summerall's team doing really well there. They're number 25. At number 24, also in the American, Army still undefeated. They're up by 1 spot. Army still has a game coming up with Notre Dame in the non-conference. Their game against Navy will not count in the conference standings. They are very close to clinching a spot in the American championship game. Missouri, after pulling out a wild one against Oklahoma, is up a spot to 23 at 22. Eli Drinkwitz, by the way, said he's still in the playoff picture, and he is. LSU plummets after getting blown out by Alabama, but LSU still in the mix to get into the SEC championship game, which would give them a path for an automatic bid if tiebreakers were to go their way. South Carolina has been one of the great stories of the season. They are so close to having a better record than 6-3. Beamer's team's in there.
Yeah, they've been playing great and have come on strong the last few weeks, but LSU beat them in Columbia. Yeah. Circumstantial with Lenora Sellers getting hurt, but that's maybe the first part of the rankings that I would disagree slightly with.
But you have to remember, one game, head-to-head's not everything. That was a September game. We're in November. I think South Carolina's playing better than LSU right now. Oh, we're going to find out about these two. They'll play each other at the end of the season. Clemson at number 20 and still with a shot to get in the ACC title game, though the Tigers will need a little bit of help. Louisville at 6-3. They've lost to 3 highly ranked teams. Jeff Brom's squad is up 3 in the rankings and just ahead of the Clemson team that they punched pretty good a couple of weeks ago in Death Valley. Washington State doesn't have a path to win a conference championship. They must get into the field as an at-large, which means they will have to make it to the top 12 or top 11, depending on where that 5th highest-ranked conference champion is. But the Cougs still hanging in there. Well, Colorado is surging. The Buffs control their path. They need no help to make it to the Big 12 championship game.
And because Iowa State lost 2 in a row, now Colorado controls their own destiny. And it's important where they're ranked, because if they win the Big 12, now it's going to be close with Boise State to see who gets that 4th spot and who gets the bye.
Boise State was ranked 12th, close to the highest-ranked Big 12 team last year, which we'll see a little bit later on as the Broncos continue to roll. Kansas State beat Colorado in Boulder, and they're 1 spot up, but Colorado has the edge at the moment for getting to the Big 12 championship game because Kansas State still needs the Buffs to lose again.
Yeah, that's no doubt. And I understand why Kansas State is ahead of Colorado, but if you're Colorado, everything's in front of you and you control your own destiny.
I think Colorado doesn't care where it's ranked.
Exactly.
Win your games, and you'll get in. They'll get an automatic bid if they can win the Big 12. At 15, gig 'em. Down a spot, A&M with a big win over LSU, and then they followed it up with the loss to South Carolina. But again, like Colorado, everything in front of them, they can win their way into the SEC championship game and earn an automatic berth. So now let's look at the bracket. And a reminder again, where a team is ranked might not be where it's seated because those 4 highest ranked conference champions
Appreciate that, bro.
get in advance and a bye into the quarterfinals. So let's look at the second team out. It's SMU. The Mustangs, still unbeaten in ACC play. They can win their way into the bracket if they simply win their games. First team out. But Boise State is ranked 13. So they're down a spot, but they're still seeded 12th because in this scenario, they would be the Mountain West champion and the 5th highest ranked conference champion.
Yeah, very interesting. Boise State down a spot now. Still have not seen Ole Miss. Ole Miss fresh off the big win last week against Georgia. How high have they climbed now as a result of that victory?
Okay, so this is where you have to pay attention to rankings and seeding. Now, because Boise State would be a conference champion, they then pushed the 12th ranked team out of the field, and that's the Georgia Bulldogs after the loss at Ole Miss.
Who would have thought this a couple weeks ago with how they went to Austin, handled the Texas Longhorns? But now you look at the Georgia Bulldogs, they got some flaws. I mean, the offensive line giving up tons of pressure last week to Ole Miss's defensive front. They couldn't get any pressure on Jackson Dart. The secondary, as a result, struggled. I mean, they gave up an easy touchdown right down the field to the backup quarterback. So Georgia right now at a crossroads with Tennessee coming to town, who clearly not listed yet, ranked well ahead of the Bulldogs.
Georgia has the #1 strength of schedule in the country and a brutal road schedule. And right now, sitting first team out, but the Dogs certainly with an opportunity against Tennessee, as Greg mentioned. The team that put it on Georgia on Saturday, Hotty Toddy, and moves up, way up, and they're now number 11, and they would have the 11th seed.
And I just love how Ole Miss played against Georgia, the physicality, controlling the line of scrimmage. They built this defense to beat Georgia, and they didn't just beat Georgia, they dominated the Georgia Bulldogs up front. The future's bright for Lane Kiffin.
And the committee told us last week that who you lost to and how you lost is also a factor when it comes to the evaluation. Ole Miss, 2 losses by a combined 6 points, had 4th down conversions that were made against them. Had they gotten off the field in those 2 plays, they're an undefeated football team.
And you know, the only 2 teams who have trailed for less time on the game clock than Ole Miss, Army and Indiana, they're both undefeated, and Ole Miss somehow has had 2 losses. Let's look to see who is ranked number 10. Alabama after the win at LSU. So the Crimson Tide was the last team in the field last week, second to last this week.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Alabama, they look like sometimes the best team in the country, which last week against LSU, they looked outstanding. But we've also seen them have some flaws. But they're peaking at the right time. Run the ball with Jalen Milroe and forget the rest of the plays.
and remember this too. Both Ole Miss and Alabama, if it were to end this way, would be on the road with their first playoff game. Who's number 9? At number 9, it's Miami. Now, Miami, despite the loss to Georgia Tech, still the highest ranked team from the ACC. Remember, SMU, second team out, no conference losses, but not in the field. So since Miami is the highest ranked ACC team, they would project as the champion. They would go into the quarterfinals as a 4 seed, despite being ranked 9th. Joe, you with me there?
I'm with you.
4th highest ranked conference
I don't know if I believe it, but I'm with you.
Okay, number 8. Fighting Irish and Notre Dame, ranked 8, seeded 9th. That means Notre Dame would be on the road in the first round, too. Against whom? The Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, as Greg mentioned, going to Georgia this weekend. The Volunteers, ranked 7th, seeded 8th, would get a home game against Notre Dame.
And I do understand that Tennessee's got everything in front of them. I love their defensive line. That'll be the matchup of the weekend. Tennessee's defensive line against Georgia's offensive line. The winner of that battle will win that game.
And how about this? The way Ole Miss just obliterated Georgia's offensive line last week. Now these cats take a backseat to nobody.
They got to be licking their chops, Chris.
There are a lot of them in orange up front. They just rotate through. Ranked just ahead of Tennessee is BYU. BYU somehow escaped the Holy War, and they are still undefeated. They're ranked 6th, but they would be seeded 3rd as Big 12 champion.
BYU has escaped a couple times this season, and somehow they find ways to win football games. Look, it is hard to win football games. It's hard to go undefeated. And as they sit at 9-0, there's the respect. But the question mark, they have Kansas this week coming up. The same Kansas team we just saw beat Iowa State. And then they have Arizona State, at Arizona State, who's also still in this picture. So BYU's path, as they've won close games, They have a tough road in the next 2 weeks.
And this is a correction from the committee. Like, they messed up last week by having BYU 9.
So low.
And look, BYU was a holding foul away from losing that game, and they came back and won. Now the committee does what they should have done a week ago, moving them up into the 6th spot where they belong.
I don't know that it's a correction as much as it is a response to two teams ahead of them losing.
Absolutely.
You had Miami and Georgia both losing, so they do get an extra spot out of it. Kansas is interesting. Worst preseason pick ever was me picking Kansas to go to the playoff. They've lost a bunch of close games.
Be careful.
Now they get a chance to be the big spoiler. How about Indiana? Indiana would be the 5th ranked team. They would get. How about if the Crimson Tide had to go into Bloomington, a stadium about half the size of Bryant-Denny?
Just a little less disrespect this week. I like the committee moving Indiana up. I get it. It was a close game against Michigan, but guess what? We can't always score 40 points. The defense is going to have to help us out. The defense showed up. The defense dominated in the second half. And if you're Indiana, you got a week off. And then the biggest game of maybe in the Indiana Hoosier history at the Horseshoe against the Buckeyes. But this still tells me, Reese, Penn State, who has lost a game, is in front of Indiana. That's what a little bit of disrespect comes from.
You're going to have a bunch of Big Ten coming in here, too. And how about this? Who else gets to say that their key wins are Nebraska and Michigan?
And Michigan, for what reason? Michigan's 5-5.
Well, because it's the best they've got so far. Penn State number 4, so Penn State would have a home game against Ole Miss. They just saw each other recently.
Yeah,
in
Penn
the bowl
State
game.
sitting back like, thank
Didn't
you.
go well.
Penn State is literally sitting there saying our best win is Illinois, and we're clean. We have nothing. We lost Ohio State at home. Doesn't matter. We're okay. You guys go ahead and play this out. Let's win our next 2 games to get in.
Number 3, Texas, highest ranked SEC team. The Longhorns would project as the 2 seed. What's Texas' best win?
Vandy.
Vanderbilt?
Yeah,
I mean,
Vandy.
Some resume.
Hey, exactly. Texas and Penn State being lifted up based on, what they've done in the eye test. I get that. Look, I watch Texas just like the rest of us, just like the committee members. There's 7 or 8 people on the committee that either played college football or coached college football. So they're watching the players, and I don't blame them for being super impressed. The problem is the resume doesn't support a top 3 ranking. They are up there on eye test and ceiling. And until we see it all put together, it's tough for me to get totally on board with them being up there right now.
And by the way, that's not inappropriate. The first line for the committee's charge, best team.
Yeah.
And if they think Texas is
So
best
subjective.
based on football judgment, that's why we brought in the committee. You guys didn't like all that BCS computer stuff. That's completely
Okay.
You guys didn't like that.
Texas did beat Michigan soundly at Michigan, the same team that Indiana struggled with. Here we go.
Ohio State, ranked
They won.
2nd, would be seeded 5th because obviously the Big Ten champion, the highest ranked team, would project to be Oregon, who beat Ohio State by 1. Look at all of the Big Ten in the top 5. B1G with 4 of the top 5 spots as we take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. Big Ten dominating this week's ranking for the top 5. That's the most by any conference in the top 5 in a single college football rankings. The SEC with 4 of its own, all in the top 11. Miami in the ACC. Canes joined by BYU, Boise State, and Notre Dame. And all of those in the Capital One rewarding performance once again. As mentioned, very rewarding for those. You were wound up last week. You're as wound up this week or not?
I'm always so wound up. I just can't help it. Like, there's just things I'm like, why is Clemson ranked? I'm like looking at all the stuff.
But who are you going to replace with?
I understand.
That's way down the list.
I totally get it. And we're making mountains out of molehills. It's not a big deal. What I'm most fascinated by is when I look at those possible first-round matchups, the Southern teams, Alabama, heading to what might be a snowy environment in Bloomington, Indiana on December 20th at night is mind-blowing to me. Penn State is in a position to host. Ohio State's in a position to host. That's, I think, why the home game was brought to this format, is the possibility of teams playing out of their comfort zone like a Southern team playing in the snow.
And the subjectivity of what the committee is looking at. Texas being ranked where they're ranked. Penn State being ranked over Indiana, even though Penn State has 1 loss, Indiana doesn't. And Indiana beat the same team that Penn State beat in UCLA. They dominated them. So the committee using subjectivity when they want to use it.
Army is being disrespected.
Oh, my God.
They're going to have their chance.
Army is undefeated.
I get
it.
If Indiana's being disrespected, Army's being disrespected.
Army's just wins against a
Give them their
5-4 East
respect.
Carolina team that's already fired.
Did you see
Army
who
has
Indiana played?
the second easiest schedule in the
Where's
country.
Indiana?
I think they're 100.
Okay.
Not a lot of difference.
Very
in
similar
that.
to
When you
Michigan
get to
schedule last
100
year.
and
Agreed.
130, it's the
Agreed.
same mess.
Agreed. 100%. That's what we're going to play for the last few weeks and see. Time for our road test presented by Goodyear, heading into the visit betwixt the hedges. Tennessee's lost 7 in a row to the Dogs, all by at least 2 touchdowns. That's the longest such streak by any FBS school against the Dogs in the poll era. Dogs have won 28 straight at Sanford Stadium, and boy, do they need to have that home crowd get behind them and hunker down one more time and try to save themselves in the playoff race. College Game Day, 9 a.m. Eastern time from Athenstown. As Tennessee comes in trying to flex its muscle and knock Georgia out of the SEC championship race. You know, there's a delicious opportunity for an 8-way tie, all for first place in the SEC, and I'm here for it.
Me too.
I hope it happens. Counting down to tip-off Champions Classic, Duke and Kentucky. Cooper Flagg, preseason All-American, despite the fact that he's a freshman. NBA scouts already ready to take him immediately. And Lamont Butler, new era of Kentucky basketball, as the Wildcats will try to score a victory over John Shire. Coach S and the Blue Devils coming up.
College football
Well,
playoff top 25
that.
is presented by Prudential, protecting retirement and your life's work. Who's your rock?
Cool.
Stats matter.
Well,
Like
guys,
1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with
we ain't
prostate.
done. Y'all stay in here with us. Stay with me now. Y'all stay in here with us. I'll rattle off the top 25 and the seedings. Oregon, seeded number 1 and ranked number 1. Ohio State, seeded 5th, ranked number 2. Texas, seeded 2nd, ranked number 3. Penn State, seeded 6th, ranked number 4. Indiana, seeded 7th, ranked number 5. BYU, ranked 6th, seeded 3rd. Tennessee, ranked 7th, seeded 8th. Notre Dame, ranked 8th, seeded 9th. Miami, ranked 9th, seeded 4th. Alabama, ranked and seeded 10th. Ole Miss, ranked and seeded 10th. Georgia, ranked number 12, doesn't make it in the CFP. Boise State rounds out the seeding at 12th. They're 13th. SMU 14, Texas A&M 15, Kansas State 16, Colorado 17, Washington State 18, Louisville 19, Clemson 20, South Carolina 21, LSU 22, Missouri 23, Army 24, and the Tulane Green Wave making their way in at 25. If the CFP were to start today, the first round games would be Boise State going to Ohio State, Notre Dame going to Tennessee, Ole Miss going to Penn State, and Alabama going up to Indiana. The first round buys would be Oregon, Texas, BYU, and Miami. Elijah, take off for a minute because I'm about to get ready to open up the phone lines. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to drop this number in here. I'm making it very clear. If you get on here cussing, we're hanging it up. But we're opening up the phone lines, and then I'm going to start the stream up over on Facebook as well. Take off with this one, man. I mean, who are the surprises? Who was somebody that you weren't expecting to be seated as high as they were? Take off with it.
Good old Rocket Top, Tennessee. I know they in there. Bro. Hey, look. Hey, I'm not surprised too much with everything that happened. The only thing that surprised me was Georgia. But then again, I'm not, because they just lost to Ohio State, Ole Miss. But that's gonna, like I said, it's gonna change. Tennessee can lose to Georgia this week, and boom, they could flip places. So anything could change. But I just happen to see all these guys, man. Colorado, I'm still surprised that they're the first one out, but I think that will be a change by the end of the year, for the simple fact that depending on who can get in there, because I think they could beat BYU. I think they can finish up and probably not host, but go on the road to face somebody, whether if it's a Notre Dame, a Tennessee, a Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, whoever's in there. But other than that, man, I'm not really surprised. I'm not, like I just told you about before, I'm not big on Boise State, man. Look, I get it. They created this 12-team college football, so everybody got a chance. That don't mean I want to see a butt whooping. I don't want to see Boise State going against Alabama in the first round and the score is 50-10. Like, I don't want to see that. So hopefully they get the system right. They change things right. But again, I'm happy, man. I'm really happy with how things shaping out. This week is big. The games are big this week. Can't wait to see some of these outcomes. And I know that as we see some fans in here, I can't wait to see what they say. Go GBO. Like, I want to see what they say, man. So
what they gonna say, boy?
GBO, 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 GBO.
Hey, let me start it up over on Facebook too. Let's see. Edit. Let's go here. And
I'm gonna give you some water real quick.
Go ahead, take off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us now via Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. We are live talking about the college football playoff rankings. The show just went off, and I will put all of it down in a ticker in just a second. But as you can see, there is a call-in number. If you would like to voice your opinion, if you were watching the show, you can voice your opinions on how you felt about this latest college football playoff rankings, the teams that have been seeded in there. If y'all give me a second, I can get these teams all in there listed. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. If the issue ends, that's all right. I ain't gonna worry about it then. But like we said, call in. You got the number there. If you're a fan of any of the teams in the top 25, in the top 12, wherever they might be seated, y'all take off with it. I'm gonna say this: Ohio State being ranked number 2 and then having to go and play in the first round. I know they ticked off about that. Like we said, though, things are going to change. Things are not going to stay the same as we always know it. It's always going to be fluid over time. So it's interesting, man. I think Colorado, like they said, they have a fast track directly to the Big 12 championship, and I think it would be playing against. Yeah. Let's see. You are calling into the Fitz Take podcast. Ooh, boy. Did they hang up? Y'all going hard, ain't it? Hey, man, don't be shy now. I'm gonna answer this phone. Like I said, unless you on here cussing, we'll let you be heard. Voice your opinions now if you want to talk. Like I said, I think Colorado being seated where they are is extremely, extremely interesting because it's kind of setting the table to allow them to make it and get into the CFP, which from a storyline perspective, that's what everybody gonna want. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to see Dion and them get an opportunity because hate them or love them, you're gonna be talking about it. Hate them or love them, they're gonna get people to watch. They're gonna be a draw every single time. What is my? You calling into the Fitz Take podcast? Who we speaking with? Yo.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Both of them teams corny.
What team's corny?
What team's corny?
Both of the teams you're talking about corny. The Sixers is playing right now. Why are we not talking about them?
The Sixers.
Be back.
We're not talking about the Sixers. We're talking about college football.
Be back is lit.
Hey, bro, I'm hearing an echo.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But why are we talking about that? The Sixers is playing right now.
What the Sixers got? What the Sixers gonna do this year, man?
Everything.
They gonna win the championship.
You got to beat the Knicks. We about to beat the Knicks.
What channel they playing on? They
B
playing
ain't
on.
got no self control, so you know he about to be on. B, listen, B ain't got no self control right now, so you know he on beast mode.
He punching reporters, bro.
Paul George out there looking like he's 21. He look like he's 21 right now.
They in the third quarter right now. The Knicks up. Knicks up 8. I think it is.
Knicks up 8.
It ain't gonna stay up. They ain't gonna stay up.
Hey, it's over, bro. The Knicks gonna win that.
They ain't gonna stay there. And then they got, you know why? You know what's happening right now, bro? The reason why this is happening right now is because they got the floor looking like 2K.
Yeah, that mud do look crazy. That playing court is crazy. You never said who he was talking to, bro. We just what's a guy right now? Oh man.
Who is this?
Listen, this is the Sixers. Y'all talking to the Sixers.
Well, 76ers, we greatly appreciate you for calling in. We gonna pass the phone.
You see my boy? You see my boy AI out there? AI out there tonight. You know we not losing this job. Listen.
What is going on right now?
Hey man, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hey, I just got what's up with you.
This funny, bro.
All right, man.
For sure. As you can see, it works. The phone works. So if you call in, we will definitely answer and hear from you. I'm trying to get these rankings up and the ticker pulled up for y'all because I know y'all probably like you looking at us. You ain't trying to see us. Let me see. Get this ticker. Boom. Let me see what that'll look like. There it is. Bam. You got the rankings rolling there down at the bottom of the screen. So many teams in it. So you can see it all the way across. The phone line is open, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a ring. Give us your opinions on what you think about the latest CFP rankings. Who is supposed to be in? Who's not getting enough respect? Who is underachieving? I think Georgia getting knocked out that's tough. Them boys. I understand they got spanked, but my goodness, they are out of it. They're on the outside looking in.
Carson Beck stink.
You calling into the Fifth Take Podcast. Who we speaking with?
This is Lionel Nixon.
Who that now?
Lionel Nixon.
All right. Who do you got, my man? Take off.
Well, college playoffs is the Big Ten SEC.
Yeah.
If you don't play in the Big Ten SEC, you're not going to make the playoffs.
So what you feel about some of the ACC teams?
These are the first 4 teams. Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana, and Texas.
How do you feel about some of the ACC teams?
What good is the college playoff if you already know what teams you're putting in?
Hey, it is, now that he mentioned it, let me look back at it. You got
Look at
how many teams on here? You got Texas 1, Tennessee that's 2, Alabama 3, Ole Miss 4. For 4 teams in the CFP. You have Oregon is Oregon, not Big 12, no. They
Oregon Big 12.
Oregon Big 12. You got Oregon. You got BYU. I think that's it.
So one loss Miami was number 4 last week is out of the playoffs.
No, they still in.
Out of the top 10.
No, they still in.
They're out of the top 10.
Yeah, but they ranked they're seeded 4th. So I'd much rather have that first round bye in the number 4 seed than be worried about
Miami. University of Miami's 11.
No, they ranked 11, but they're seeded 4 in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, they're number 11.
Yeah. They're seeded 4 in the playoffs.
If the playoffs started today, they would be the number 4 seed. So yeah, they're gonna fall in the ranking. I'm sure. I was typing it as it was going along. Let me go look.
I'm just saying. I think the rankings I got is totally different than yours.
Hey, look. If Miami in there, because they are in there, they losing to Tennessee in the second round.
You got the right ranking? The one that came out tonight?
Yeah, if Miami in there, they're gonna lose to Tennessee in the second round.
I got Oregon.
Yeah, they got
State,
Miami seeded 4th.
Indiana, Tennessee, BYU, Notre Dame, Bama, and Ole Miss. That's the first top 10 teams.
No,
they're banging on Miami win the ACC to seeded 4. But if you go by these 10 teams in front of Miami, so if Miami don't win the ACC, they're not in.
All right. Well, right now they're in. They're in right now.
You're going by the 4 conference winners.
I'm going by what they just showed on TV.
I'm going by what right here.
Hey, look. They showing it. They showed it.
Oh Lord, this is funny.
They got the bye. But what I'm telling you is that Miami's going to lose in the second round in that first round, in the second round.
Think about it. Penn State can't win a big game. That's a waste of playoff spot.
Sidney Clark say otherwise. She said Penn State to go all the way.
Yeah, but they can't win a big game.
So who gonna win it all?
I love my man Franklin, but he's not a big game winner.
Who gonna win it all?
Ryan Day, he's not a big game winner.
Who's gonna win it all?
Bama, they're in there because of their history. That's not one of the best Bama teams out there.
No,
even though LSU fans probably disagree after that close game Saturday.
I don't know about close. That was a funeral. That was a funeral.
Yeah, they only held them to 34 points. They could 34 points.
Who you got winning it all?
And I feel sorry for Colorado. Even there'll be a good story, they'll be out the first round.
Yeah.
If they get past BYU.
Yeah. Because what would they be?
BYU.
They'd be the in the championship, so they would be near. They would be either if they win it, they'd be seeded 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
So they'd get a first round bye. That'd be kind of tough. Having a home playoff game in year 2 under Coach Prime, that's tough.
Yeah. When that fake team from Tennessee had no business being there. Oh.
Hey, the Tennessee play Miami second round, they'll beat them.
Tennessee is a good story, man, but they're not a good team.
Hey, man, is this your pops?
It is. I don't know. He can't hear me. He can't hear me, though.
What? You know that Rocky Top song?
Tell him say how the Rocky Top song go. How it go?
Good old Rocket Top Tennessee.
Oh, he's quiet now.
He can't hear me. See, he can't hear me.
I don't know why he can't hear you.
I can't hear him.
Oh, he said I can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Nah, but all jokes aside, man, but Miami should be, even though they took a little backseat to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
They shouldn't drop that far out.
No, I think they'll still make the playoffs. If they lose another game, which I said like earlier in the year when they played Cal, that should have been their first loss. Like I was up watching that game and Cal was putting it on them. If it wasn't for Cam Ward, waking up all of a sudden, they probably wouldn't even be in this conversation right now because they'd have 2 losses. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. But if they had lost to Cal, they'd be Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
They've been more focused.
Yeah. Georgia Tech's a good team. They're a good team. They can run the football. And, I say it all the time. Like, if you can run the ball and play good defense, that is half the battle to winning a football game. Really more than half, honestly.
And I agree with you 100%. I think 3 yards and a cloud of dust will get you further than a 50-yard pass.
That's OG for sure. He said 3 yards in a cloud of dust, boy. I ain't heard that since Mike Suggs dead. C.E. Byrd High School. My God.
Yeah. You live on that 50-yard, boy. It's going to be a lot of people calling on the coach to be fired.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Oh, man. Well, we greatly appreciate you for calling in, giving your take.
And we're calling for Connecticut.
All the way from there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We appreciate that. We appreciate the love, man. Thank you for calling in for real.
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Y'all be blessed.
Yes, sir. You too.
Yeah.
As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, the phone.
I can't hear.
Hello, that's Sydney and Mo going at it in the comments. You swear you gang. Record 8-1 though. I am. Oh man. No, it's interesting, man. I wonder what Twitter's saying right now. Let me see. I wonder what the Twitterverse is saying. I know on Facebook, them people are talking about.
He told me, that was my dad. He told me he couldn't hear me.
He couldn't hear you.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why. That's strange, bro. Somebody said, what will it take for the UL Raging Cajuns to be ranked? They're right behind Tulane at 26. Listen, I think fully, especially after UL got their win over Wake Forest early in the season, that they have garnered some national attention. But that one loss that they have to Tulane is literally what's holding them out. Because if they would have beat them, then they're 25. No questions asked.
Benedict. Let's go, Bo. Let's go. You know about it. Let's go, Bo, with the Benedict. Yeah.
Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
PC.
They having a whole battle. They having a whole battle. But no, like I said, I fully believe if they would have won the game, they would be ranked 25. Caller coming in. Let's see. You're calling in live here on the Fitz Take Podcast. Who am I speaking with?
Yo, what's up, man? This Big Freeze.
What's up, bro?
What up, man? What y'all got going on? You know what I'm saying? So, what like, who y'all top team in the college football playoff? Because I'm gonna give you mine.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of teams that are not just like flat out strong. Like, you know, you look at a lot of the years past where you had a Georgia that was just like, all right, them boys, they gonna win the championship. But this year, as there's not a clear cut favorite right now, not in my opinion. If I had to absolutely call a number or a team, I would say Oregon. But other than that, man, I mean, everybody is pretty much beatable. Everybody is wide open. I think. Are there any undefeated teams in the top 4, top 5 left?
They're Oregon.
Just Oregon. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I have to say Oregon right now. You think so?
I think Texas.
No, man. You know, see, yeah, I'm kind of wild. I'm kind of like flabbergasted and puzzled. Y'all ain't put Michigan in there. Nah, but for real, why y'all laughing?
Because that's over with, man. They got what, 3 losses, 4 losses?
He talking about nah, but for real.
So y'all don't like Texas A&M, man?
No.
Or like y'all like Alabama?
No, I think Texas. I personally think Texas is the best team in college football.
Who is Texas one's lost?
Georgia.
They lost to South Carolina.
No, Texas lost to Georgia.
Yeah, that was it, and they was getting whooped in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying though. So like if they get the first round bye, if the playoffs started today, they would get the first round bye as the 2. I think that they're a very, very good team, but I think if they run into a buzzsaw team, if they run into a team that can run the football really well and that's focused, that's laser-like focus, they're gonna run into some trouble, man. I don't know, but I know Michigan is not they're not even in the frame of the picture right now, so that's they're not in it at all.
Right. But I just want to ask one question. I just know your partner Elijah, right?
Yeah.
I just hope he ain't got nothing to say about Missouri. Because
I have nothing to say about Missouri, bro.
Ain't nothing in Missouri but corn.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say about Missouri, bro. I have nothing to say about Missouri.
They ranked though. Missouri is ranked. They got that. They got that.
Higher than Michigan.
You know, everybody get a little. You know how like you date a girl and she got a kid, so you got to take care of her too. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're gonna get the love. That's the SEC, you know.
Oh my God.
They higher than Michigan.
This is funny, bro. Wow.
Nah, but for real, man, y'all be doing y'all thing over here, man. For real. A lot of people been checking in.
That's real, man.
I've been hearing. I just heard my dad was just up here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. He called and he spoke his piece. So we appreciate that, bro.
He didn't tell y'all nothing about the Steelers, huh?
No, he didn't say nothing about the Steelers.
Okay, good.
Oh man. All right, my brother. Well, we appreciate you for calling in, man. Always love from this
end. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
I don't know if they can hear me.
You said they can't hear you.
I don't know.
I don't know why, bro. Is your mic muted? It's not muted on my end.
It's on.
I don't know, man. They talking to me at this point.
Yeah.
But no, guys, this has been good. We'll keep the phone lines open for a few more minutes, and then we're gonna call it a night. I got some shrimp pasta sitting on the stove, and I'm ready to dive in, brother. So I'm ready to dive in. Like we said, that this will continue to be fluid throughout the season, but as of now, as you're seeing rolling across the ticker, you got Oregon, you got Texas, you got BYU, Miami, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Boise State as your 12 teams that are in the CFP. If the playoffs were to start today, your first round games would be Boise State at Ohio State, Notre Dame at Tennessee, Ole Miss at Penn State, Alabama at Indiana, with the first round byes being Oregon, Texas, BYU, and Miami. So, man, this is good. This is good. Nice little stream. Nothing crazy. Some slight. You got any final thoughts, E?
No. I think Texas pull it out. The game of the week, of course, is Georgia and Tennessee right now, but I'm waiting to see how that plays out because I think the winner of that should solidify themselves into actually seeing if they can get a bye. Well, if Tennessee wins that, then they should be considered getting a bye. But if Georgia wins, that puts them back in the playoffs. So again, like I said, the list is very fluid. It's gonna change week.
Yeah. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We greatly appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Please smash that subscribe button for us if you are not a subscriber. If you are, we greatly appreciate it. You've gotten us to this point. Without y'all, we couldn't have done this at all, and we won't be able to do this, but we will continue to put out great content for you because y'all are continuing to support us. So we greatly appreciate that. Remember also to follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms, and also follow my production company, One Way Productions. That is the hub of everything that we do here on the Fitz Take Podcast. But signing out for Elijah Nixon. Right here at the you calling into the Fitz Take Podcast. Who I'm speaking with?
You said what? Y'all breaking up.
You called into the Fitz Take Podcast. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, this is Brandon.
What's going on, Brandon? How you doing, man?
What's going on? Is Elijah there? I was calling my little brother Elijah. He was said to call in, so I just wanted to check in and answer any questions you guys might have from my expert analysis as well.
Yeah, man. Who? What do you think about the latest CFP rankings? He's here.
It's all right. It's I think that Oregon. I don't think they're the best team, but it is what it is. I think Alabama has proven to be. I think they should be top 3. I think that's where they should be at. I'm not a big fan of. I don't think Georgia's there yet. I think they're overrated. But yeah, man, I think it's okay. Just the rankings is all right.
Okay.
You think UConn should be in there?
It's still hit or miss right now.
You think UConn should be in there?
So, but yeah, man, I'm a big fan of Oregon. I think that they are. I think they're a good overall team. They got a lot of speed. Their defense is performing well out there. But yeah, man, it's just right now. It's like I said, it's a toss up. I think that they're just the rankings is what it is because of the situation. It's so much up in the air right now. I really like Texas, but yeah, everything's up in the air still right now.
I got you. Elijah, he's his mic is muted right now, but he said, "Do you think UConn should have been in here?"
I knew he was gonna bring in UConn. Nah, man, no, UConn's not. They shouldn't be in there. They're not that good yet. They will be, I think, eventually. But right now, nah, man. Ask him. Is Benedict? They're not in there.
He just started laughing. He laughing, bro.
No, we're not ready yet.
Man, I was just calling in. Elijah said to check in and offer my analysis. So that's what I did.
We appreciate you, Brandon. Appreciate the love, man.
No problem, man.
All right,
Keep doing your thing. Proud of y'all.
Thank you, man.
All right.
I'm mad they can't hear me, bro. I can't talk my stuff, bro.
I don't know why.
I can't talk my stuff, bro. They're not letting me do it, bro. I want to talk my stuff, man.
The CFP though, bro.
I'm ready for this one. I think this is gonna be one of the most exciting things. I'm really looking forward to who hosts top 5. Who hosts a playoff game, because I want to see what the atmosphere can be like for college football play. Like, we know what NFL football players look like, right? We know what big time Georgia, they go to Alabama, or LSU host Alabama and Ole Miss. When they host these teams, I just want to know if how that's gonna look, because like Is it going to be a different atmosphere? All white out, all orange out, all black out, all blue out? Like, I'm ready to see how college football fans look during this playoff because honestly, I think this could set the precedent of, what the future of sports can be like, especially with how this plays out. And hopefully, I hope that after this they have playing games with some of these colleges. That would be kind of cool, man, to see some of these playing games. I think that would be awesome too, bro. I just want to see how that works out.
Yeah, but bro, you're gonna be breaking these kids' body down. You're gonna have them be. You might as well play an NFL schedule at that point. Well, they basically gonna be at this point by the time the playoffs is over because what you got 12 in the regular season. You have conference championship games. That's 13. If you don't host, then you have to play. Well, no, if you win your championship game, then you'll get a first round bye. So that's 14, and then 15. So that's 15 to 16 games that you're gonna play. That's crazy.
That's the thing. So that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to see how that goes because I think they should shorten it because it's really not conferences anymore. I mean, of course you got SEC, but there's not really conferences like that anymore.
Yeah.
But I think you should shorten it, and then you should let a play-in come in with that aspect because it's going to make more money regardless. But and that's what the NCAA is all about anyway, about a couple dollars. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Let me see. I see the bracket somewhere on here. So I'm going to pull it up so people can fully see it the way that it is. So we go preset, stop screen, share screen. So this is the playoff bracket right here. Whoa. Lost my camera, boy. So this is the playoff bracket. Move this lower third down. That's the playoff bracket. As of right now, you got Miami, Oregon, BYU, and Texas as your seeds. They get a bye. Boise State at Ohio State, Notre Dame at Tennessee, Ole Miss, Penn State, Alabama at Indiana. That's gonna be tough too, because Alabama is a really, really good team, and of course they got Jalen Milroe, but people don't talk about enough of how much road games change the game for you. Yeah, Penn State gonna take that.
Sid happy about this Penn State stuff.
Hey, look, they got somebody. Like it's a Nashville number. Get it. Oh man, they hung up. Man, I couldn't move that fast enough.
What number was it?
It was a Nashville, Tennessee number. Nashville, Tennessee, call back. But I couldn't get my fingers to move fast enough. I'm moving. Whenever I give me another stream setup, I'll be able to. Here we go. They calling again. All right. You're calling to the Fitz Take podcast. We'll be speaking with.
You're calling.
Yo.
Yeah.
Who are we speaking with? You calling into the Fitz Take podcast?
This is Tennessee Volunteers biggest fan.
Okay. What you got, man?
So let you know Tennessee gonna take it all, baby.
Tennessee all the way, huh? Rocky Top. Huh?
Tennessee all the way, baby. Tennessee, baby. I'm letting you know right now. No Mizzou, no Bama, no LSU.
Why you feel like Tennessee gonna take it all?
Get all the boys out of there, baby.
Why you feel like Tennessee gonna take it all?
First of all, we're the Volunteers. We Volunteers will whoop that.
Hey.
I just told you, man. We the volunteers. We volunteers to whoop all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cuss on your show now.
What about you wasn't rocking with Temple? You're not rocking with Temple?
Who?
Temple.
You got the wrong TU, my guy. Got the wrong TU, big fella.
Oh my God. Oh man.
A lot of disrespect there, young guy.
Man, why you didn't answer? What you think? Why you
That's
think?
gonna make me have to volunteer to come up with your show and whoop some butt. All right.
Why you think Tennessee gonna take it all? You didn't answer the question, man.
Hey man, listen, Tennessee been on the bubble for about 3 years now, maybe more. Good program, solid players, all around team, solid coaching. It just take them the right opportunity or the right Cinderella story or moment to get over the hump.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm looking at this comment. Frieza said, "Hey, you sure he from Tennessee? Where his accent?" Hey man, I'm looking at this comment. Frieza said, "Hey, you sure he from Tennessee? Where his accent?"
I don't know who Freezer is, but he ain't from Tennessee with a name like that.
Sound like a northerner to me is crazy. Oh man,
He sound cold. He sound cold, man. You need to warm up.
Hey man, you're funny, man. Lucky Missouri.
They ranked. They just not in the CFP picture.
I will say though, the playoff will look interesting this year. A lot of random teams. Well, not random teams, but not the usual suspects.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be an interesting one. It's almost looking like March Madness over there.
That's true. That's true. We could see a little Boise State upsetting Ohio State action or anything else. We're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. It's gonna be some fun football.
Boise State, don't get me wrong, they have a great back, but they're like the TCU of old. TCU of old. They have a good story right now. It'd be amazing for them to make it, but that's a big mountain to climb.
Yeah.
How you feel about Colorado?
Colorado is Colorado's having a year. I don't think they won't pull it out. Let me change that. They won't get over the hump there.
I can see that too. Let me ask you this for you. What you got?
Yep. Good.
Let me ask you this before you get out though. Reports are saying that Deion is a quote unquote Deion Sanders is a lead candidate for the Dallas Cowboys job. Do you think he's leaving college at all? And if he were to go back on his word and decide to change it, what would happen? Do you think it would work there in the Big D?
Truthfully, if Deion was smart, he's better off leaving college the way it's going right now. But I see him sticking around at least one more year just to solidify and not necessarily be under or have the stigma of just being a dad coach. But other than that, it'd be a better move for him to go ahead and go pro, go with it. He'll have more room in the NFL than he will college. College right now is a cutthroat business right now, especially if you're not getting all the recruits in.
Yeah.
And the way the recruits are demanding that money. if he has a horrible 2 or 3 more seasons after Shador and him leave, his window's gonna close quick. So I think he'll stick around 1 more year, if that. But the pros is definitely a safer bet for him.
Yeah. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. You know how this stuff always shakes up on the back half of the year. I've seen the Bears already done fired Shane Waldron, the OC there with the Bears. I know Elijah probably was happy about that. He can't stand that dude.
Hey, I got a question for you, man. How does your co-host fare with being what they call Mizzou fan? How do you tolerate that? Like they might as well be cheerleaders.
Hey man, he got a bunch of different teams. He's a fan of the Knicks. He loved the LA Rams. Fan of Missouri. He likes South Carolina. He all over the place. I don't know.
Well, you're absolutely right. He can't pick a region for nothing.
No,
got a gambling problem. I got a gambling problem apparently. I don't know. You be careful with that one, man. You can't trust a guy who can't stick in one spot.
Hey, I'm a West Haven Seahawks fan too, man.
West Haven Seahawks.
But appreciate you guys' time, man. You guys keep killing it up there on the show.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in, man.
Cut him off, man. I don't even want to hear no more words from that guy.
We appreciate you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Y'all some funny people, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. We always like hopping on here, talking with you guys, interacting with y'all. We appreciate it. Everyone that's been in the chat, we thank y'all so much for hopping on. Everybody that called, we thank y'all for calling in as well. It's so much greatly appreciated. Like we said, continue to subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on our social media pages. And we're going to keep putting out great content for you guys. Chill out, Frieza. Took his hoodie. It's crazy. Oh, man. Well, guys, we're going to get on up out of here. It's been fun. We appreciate y'all. Y'all stay tuned in case we have another stream coming up this week. And then always we're going to have episodes that will drop every Monday right here on YouTube and on Spotify as well. So with that, signing out for Elijah Nixon, I'm Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. We'll see y'all next time.